So the other day I put out my favorite albums of the year video, and now I think it's a good time to do my list of favorite songs, but I wanted to switch things up a little bit. If I gave you my true top 10 favorite songs list, it would probably be a majority of the songs from the albums that I talked about a couple of days ago. I don't want to make the same video over again, and I don't think you guys want to hear the same video over again, so these are my top 10 favorite songs of 2019, excluding anything from the albums that you see on screen now. Let's do this. Starting off at number 10, we have the song Yellow by Rich Brian, and this track came as a huge surprise to me. I've liked Brian since the beginning of his rise to fame, but he wasn't making anything that really caught my eye. He was giving us decent verses with a few funny lines on goofy beats. Nothing too mind-blowing. But then this single dropped, and I was pretty stunned. It is a major stylistic shift for him, and this song alone improved my opinion of him tenfold. This song is evidence that he is capable of so much more than he was letting on. With this very ominous, cinematic track, we get to hear some pretty high-quality vocals from someone that wasn't really singing on his music before this. Then he starts rapping, and it feels like a pretty evolved version of Brian too. There's something about his delivery that feels war-torn, like his couple of years in the rap game have really been eating at him, and now he's performing with a new purpose. The instrumental switches up a few times throughout the track, and Brian adapts to the changes pretty effortlessly. So much happens within these 5 minutes, and I think I got more out of the arc on this one song than I did with entire albums from other rappers. I highly recommend it. At number 9, we have a very different kind of hip-hop song, and that is Suge by DaBaby. Something more shocking than seeing the evolution of Rich Brian on Yellow is remembering that Baby on Baby came out this year. With the pure quantity of stuff that we've heard from DaBaby in 2019, I think it's easy to try and dismiss his accomplishments. When one guy is featured on seemingly every track throughout a given year and he puts out 2 albums, I get it, you probably don't want to hear anything about him right now. But come on, Suge is one of the most irresistible, addictive rap songs of 2019. I think this was the real standout song from his debut studio album, and it all comes down to the one-of-a-kind personality of this rapper. We've all seen the discussion about DaBaby really only having one flow and one way of making a song, but granted, it is a pretty great flow. He attacks every track with this interesting blend of something that feels both vicious and extremely nonchalant. He absolutely bullies this beat, but he makes it look easy in the process. His bars on Suge are some of the funniest and most braggadocious lyrics that you'll hear in 2019. And when it comes to the instrumental, sure, DaBaby could pick something with a little more flavor, but I think that all goes back to what he's trying to focus on. For him, the bars are what's most important, and this very simplistic beat helps shine a brighter light on the rapping. Whether or not you've gotten sick of him by now, I think it's pretty hard to argue that the song that made him blow up was certainly worthy of making him blow up. At number 8, we have the song Hit Me Where It Hurts by Polachek, and this is easily one of my favorite pop songs of the year. The fascinating thing about this album is that Caroline often sings over these very atmospheric soundscapes. She has a very operatic voice, and her vocals sound like they could be scoring movies. So the awesome thing about Hit Me Where It Hurts is that we get this atmospheric, incredible, operatic singer on a more radio-friendly pop tune. That concept has wowed me every single time I've listened to this song. The production on Pang is top-notch stuff, and Hit Me Where It Hurts is definitely a high point on the project in that regard. There are layers upon layers on this thing, and everything is so lush and gorgeous. Towards the end of the track, we get these vocals that go in and out of the foreground, and they are filled with absolute anguish. That feeling of pain is a big point on the album, and again, being that we're on one of the more poppy cuts of the project, you've got to remember that there are so many different dynamics at play here. This is a beautiful, traumatic, fun, bizarre song, and I am so impressed by Caroline's performance. At number 7, we have the song Gretel by Alex G. From the second I heard that inviting yet eerie intro, I had a feeling that I was gonna fall in love with this song. In general, I think anybody talking about the best instrumentals and the best production from 2019 should definitely be mentioning this track. The way Alex organizes this song has left me pretty speechless ever since I heard it. The different styles that are used here, the layering of the instrumentation, the vocals, the effects put on the instrumentation and the vocals, everything combines in a way that I can only describe as perfect. Few songs this year have taken more of an emotional toll on me than this one. It's enchanting, but it feels so dirty and haunting, and for me, I'm always pretty intrigued by the whole creepy but you kind of like it anyway vibe within music, movies, whatever. There's also a riveting story being told in the song as well. On this track, Alex reimagines the classic Brothers Grimm fairy tale of Hansel and Gretel. Instead of the original version where Gretel frees Hansel from a cage and they escape the evil witch, in Alex's version, Gretel escapes on her own, leaving her brother to die, and now she spends her days wishing that she could go back to that house. This story plays with captivating themes of selfishness, gluttony, indulgence, and so on. And what do those themes work perfectly with? That creepy, enchanting instrumental that we've already discussed. It's an unbelievable track, and you should go listen to it ASAP. At number 6, we have the song Tears by Nilufer, Yanya, and while I have seen plenty of high praise for this album, I just want to talk a little bit about this song specifically. So across Miss Universe, we get plenty of different sounds all revolving around Nilufer's soulful, hard-hitting voice, but Tears is the track that I think has the most fun. She described the song as a mixture between an 80s synth pop vibe and an old school Weezer track, which is definitely a match made in heaven for me, and without a doubt you can clearly hear both influences on this song. When I first heard the track, and before I read the interview where she described the song in that way, I thought it almost sounded like if Majid Jordan put out an indie rock song, but I guess that in the end those two pairs are pretty similar. The intro grabs hold of you right away. Once the beat comes in, you want to get up and dance, and then when the chorus hits, that's where the song will burrow itself into your brain, and trust me, it'll be stuck in your head for a while. It is so catchy, so enjoyable, and even if the song might be a little sad, I think you're gonna have a great time with it. There's a super retro feeling to Tears, and I really hope we get more stuff like this from her in the future. At number 5, we have the song Hold You Now by Vampire Weekend, and on an album that was a little bit bloated, it still had a few amazing tracks, with this being my favorite of the bunch. The song begins with some very poetic lyrics from Ezra, accompanied by the plucking of guitar strings. As the second verse comes in, we get lyrics that further explain the story at hand, and at this point, we really know what we're up against. Hold You Now is a story of what could have been. We're witnessing an unstable relationship, once filled with love and infatuation, coming to an end. Where things might have looked promising long ago, now this song is pretty much their last night together before they split up for good. As soon as we, the listener, begin to capture these feelings of confusion, indulgence, and general disarray, we're met with this beautiful, booming chorus that was also featured on Hans Zimmer's soundtrack for the 1999 Terrence Malick film, The Thin Red Line. When the song returns to a solemn, sorrowful voice accompanied by a quaint, moody guitar, this time it's actually Danielle Haim. She continues to help unravel the story as we get her perspective, and Danielle's side of things helps close the story in a pretty brilliant way. This song is so pretty, and I love the composition of it all, splitting between the two sides of the same story, with that grand chorus in the middle and at the end was genius. There's some vivid imagery in here that helps bring another emotional aspect to it all, and I really love it.
I can't carry you forever, but I can hold you now.
At number 4, we have the song Sugar by Brockhampton, and while yes, I didn't really love the album as a whole, I think this is arguably the best song that they've ever made. This is actually the track that I've listened to more than any other this year, and it's for good reason. While I've played it hundreds of times, there's no part of me that has gotten sick of it, and I find myself falling in love with something new upon every re-listen. Let's go down the list, and I dare you to tell me something about this song that does does not work. First, we have the pitch-changed chorus from Ryan Beatty, and this is my favorite chorus of any song this year. The melody is unbelievable, his words are memorable, and it's been stuck in my head since August. The first verse on the track is from Thom, and he pulls you in immediately with the line, "I move mountains on my own, don't need nobody help," and it only gets better from there. As the chorus comes in for the second time, Ramil and Jabari start ramping up the instrumental with this very poppy, glimmering something. I don't really know how to describe it exactly, but it sounds so good. The second verse is from Matt, and this hit me in such a nostalgic way. I don't know why, but every time I hear this verse, I think of the visuals from Billy Starr, and it just brings me back to such a specific time and place. Bareface comes in on the pre-chorus, and I'd like to explain how much I love this part, but really, we don't have enough time for that. We would be here all day. Then Kevin's bridge is possibly my favorite contribution that he's ever made to a Brockhampton song. In my opinion, this is a prime example of him doing what he does best, making these ultra sweet, ultra cute, catchy bridges and choruses that end up becoming some of the best moments on a given album. Bareface is on the outro, and again, I am in love with that man, and you do not want to hear me go off about how great he is. This song is perfection, and if you haven't listened to it by now, I don't know what you're doing. At number 3, we have the song Gone by Charli XCX and Christine and the Queens, and while I could have picked half the songs on this record, this is the big standout. I am not being dramatic here whatsoever, and I think this is pretty agreed upon for everybody that's listened to this project. Gone is one of the best pop songs of this decade. Plain and simple, period, end of story, whatever. It is so good. This track is a release of energy like no other. It goes hard whether you're talking about the vocals from Charli and Christine or the glitchy, futuristic production. Everything about this song goes so hard. This track is massive, and the amount of euphoria that goes along with it is remarkable. Gone is an escape. It has its own world, and it feels so complete. No part of me is left wanting more when I listen to this song. While I could go on and on about a ton of the different collaborations on Charli, whether it be Troye Sivan or Kim Petras, Big Frida, Cupcake, and everybody else, I think the chemistry here with her and Chris is so special. Gone is what happens when two musicians truly connect with each other and feel the message behind the song. It is a perfect collaboration, it's an unreal pop song, and I feel so lucky that we have it. At number 2, we have the song Dawn Chorus by Thom Yorke, and I don't even know what to say here. This is the type of song that I don't even feel qualified to have an opinion on. This is one of the best pieces of art that I've ever consumed, and honestly, I'm struggling to even come up with anything to say, and I think that might be for the best. I'm gonna keep this short because I really don't even feel comfortable trying to critique this in any way, even if all my thoughts are positive. This is a song that has been sought after by Radiohead fans for a long time, and at least from my perspective, it couldn't be more perfect. This is an expression of pure beauty and a righteous symbol for anyone and everyone that's just trying to make it through life.
If you could do it all again.
At number 1, we have the song Black Oak by Slaughter Beach Dog, and there is one very simple reason why I love this song so much. Jake Ewald of Slaughter Beach Dog and my favorite band ever, Modern Baseball, is my favorite storyteller of all time. It's funny talking about storytelling within music because it can be done in so many different ways and styles. Some stories are grand and extravagant, others are more down to earth and realistic. Jake Ewald tells stories that mimic life in a way that is so authentic and so true that I feel like I've lived through every memory that he's ever described in a song. The way he tells a tale with these ultra-specific, meticulously detailed lines and phrases, it puts me in such a trance that I don't think about anything else during one of his songs. I could be stressed out like I've never been before, thinking about 20 different deadlines and a breakup and whatever else, and then I turn on a song like Black Oak, and Black Oak is the only thing my mind pays attention to for the next 7 minutes. The truly fascinating thing here is that Black Oak is probably the deepest that I've ever heard Jake delve into the concept of storytelling. Instead of singing, it's more akin to something like spoken word, and he knocks it out of the park. I know that this is probably the least popular song on the list, so hopefully I get to show it to a few new eyes and ears. Enjoy.
Deep inside the country, he went out for some air amid an awe.
Let me know what your favorite songs of 2019 are down below, and thanks for watching. Hey, thank you for watching that video. If you want to support the channel, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me on social media at RenshawHS. You can buy my merch, support my Patreon, and thank you again. I'll see you soon.